Hey, hey, what's going on?
What's happening?
What's happening with you? I got kicked off earlier. Why?
I'm would like to explain. I was not present when that happened, but it was a simple miscommunication. It was an error, and it was not intentionally. I think there was a language barrier. You're on a German chat, so I'm multilingual,
Right.
so I can maybe assist a little bit in translating or in the communication to talk to you about a little bit better about it. It was difficult for them to translate to understand really what you were saying. So that happens as most people are here from Germany, if that makes sense to you.
Yeah, it definitely makes sense, and I appreciate you being here to translate. The thing is, I don't think it was a mistake because we were communicating quite well on this
Oh,
live, and
okay.
then and then even if there was a problem understanding, there's no need to ban me from the live and kick me out. We could just wait until, we could all take some time while I'm still live to figure out how to communicate. There's no need to ban me just because if you don't understand. But I think they did understand because I was communicating just fine with several people here. I think I asked some questions that nobody really had any answers to, and then I got banned.
Yeah, I think the host already apologized and said something might have happened. I was not present when that happened, so I can't contest to any of that.
Right.
But
You can't.
I think that maybe there was a communication. I'm not sure. I'm just, like I said, I was not present when that happened, but I think maybe the questions were not understood correctly, or it could have been not really conversed to you correctly. Maybe, I don't know, it's a language barrier. I assume, I'm not sure. I was not there. So I'm just trying to be of assistance here to avoid that happen again. And it was a simple error on their behalf. Like I said, I can only say they apologize that it happened. It was not an intentional fact. That's what I understand. That's the only thing I can say to you. So
Okay.
I was not there. So I'm sorry I was not there.
Well, you don't gotta apologize. That's cool. I
Yeah.
respect it. Uh,
Yes. Glad you're back. And I'm happy to help or maybe be of assistance if there's a question that you have, or maybe, I'm just trying to help. That's it.
I think. Well, we like I said, we were talking, um, and I think one of the last things that we were discussing, I asked why people on this live believe that Wade Wilson is innocent or got an unfair trial. And someone told me the reason they think that is because a lie detector test was not presented in the court case, the trial, right? And
I'm
so
not aware of it. I'm not aware of it.
huh?
I'm not aware if they made a lie detector test with him. I have no idea. I didn't know. I don't know.
Oh yeah, no. Well, I'm explaining to you,
Yeah.
so that I'm trying to fill you in on what we were talking about.
Yeah. Thank you.
Yeah, and so what I was saying is, in America, lie detector tests are never ever admitted as evidence in a courtroom trial because they are not 100% accurate. So it's not just like Wilson, they don't allow that with anybody, no matter what, whether it makes them look good or whether it makes them look bad, right?
Yeah.
Because they're not 100% accurate, and that's just the law.
I understand. I live in the
And
United States
so,
as
and
well.
so
I guess.
once I said that, nobody really had anything to say, and then I got kicked out of the line. So
Oh,
that's where we left off, right there.
yeah. I think then that kind of maybe goes back to the context that if certain things are not known, maybe in a different country, or the laws or regulations, how it works in the United States. I live in the United States, but I'm from Europe originally. So having said that, is maybe there was kind of a missing point of having the information or the knowledge, so there was really no response given. But like I said, I don't know what happened in the disconnect there, or that you got removed from the chat.
Well, I know what happened because TikTok tells me what happened. TikTok told me I was booted from the live, and I tried to request to join the live again, and TikTok told me 3 times they didn't want me to join. That's what happened.
Yeah, like I said, I'm sorry for what happened there. I'm not sure what happened or who.
Well, you don't need to be sorry because you didn't do it. They did that.
Yeah, no, but what I'm saying is, I understand it and how it came across towards you, certainly 100%. But I think the wonderful thing is you're here now, and I think we can correct it and maybe proceed or move forward and be nice and shiny about it and say, hey, you know what, mistakes happen or somebody made an error, whatever happened, and just say, you know what, let's forget about it, let's move forward and have a very productive conversation. Maybe that's, I think, a positive way of doing that. And I appreciate that you came back and took the time to come back, and the error was acknowledged, and the error was acknowledged. What I understand that I can confirm, why I came into the live after it just might have happened a few minutes ago at that time, and they tried to bring you back. What unfortunately we're not longer in the chat, so they couldn't bring you back up, but they tried. That I can give you 100% on.
Okay.
So
yes, ma'am. Well, I appreciate that, and I respect that, and I respect you. What would anyone here like to have a discussion with me? Someone who thinks Wade Wilson is absolutely guilty. What would anyone here like to have a discussion with me about? I'm open to any discussion from anyone.
Sarah, Pacina, anybody there?
Ja, einmal auf Deutsch bitte.
Oh, okay. Oh, so sorry. I'm so sorry. Jump to Pablo, I translate her in German, if that's okay with you, okay? So, er fragt, ob irgendjemand eine Frage hat an ihn als selber, weil er im Chat drin ist, ob schuldig oder unschuldig, und einfach eine Diskussion haben möchte über die Geschichte selber. Weil er jetzt da ist, sodass wir eine aktive Unterhaltung haben. Das war die Frage von ihm an uns.
Ja, das kann man ja machen. Also
er ist ja da, wie gesagt, er hat verstanden, Fehler wurde gemacht und so weiter, aber alles ist gut. Und jetzt ist er da und sagt, okay, wer eine Frage hätte an ihn, weil er denkt, weil seine Meinung so ist oder worauf sich das basiert ist, um einfach jetzt eine normale, offene Unterhaltung zu haben. Das war seine Frage. So, wenn ihr ein paar Fragen stellen wollt, bitte.
Okay, dann ist meine Frage, denkt er, Wade hat das wirklich komplett alles alleine gemacht?
Okay. Jump to Pablo, I'm translating. So Pacina is asking if you are under the impression or you really believe 100% that Wade Wilson is responsible for unaliving the two ladies entirely by himself. Do you believe that? That's her question.
I do. And the reason I do is because his very first calls with not only one, but 2 to 3 multiple people, he described in very much detail what he did, why he did it, when he did it, and how he did it, what he did and did not do to both of these women. And throughout his explanation of the details of what he did to these women, he showed no remorse. He actually laughed about it, and he treated the subject as if it's just funny and it was just something to laugh about. And so I'm aware that there is a narrative that people believe that he confessed to save his kids or his family, and he had to do it. He had to confess because dangerous people were making him do it, or you know, you can, if that was the case, you can confess and not be so heinous and not be so insensitive and not laugh and seemingly take joy in your recounting and description of what you did to these women. And that is why I believe he absolutely did everything He said he did to these women.
Do you know, if I may ask, who these two ladies were? I'm just curious, but I don't know. I'm not aware of that one.
Are you asking if I know who the two victims were?
No, you said he communicated it about two ladies he had a conversation with.
No, it wasn't too late. He said that to his ex-girlfriend, Mila. He said that to his biological father, Steve.
Okay.
And he said that to another to Kristen. I don't want to say her last name.
Yeah, got it.
He said that to a woman named Kristen.
Okay, let me translate that, please.
Ja, ich habe das schon verstanden. Ich hätte eher die Frage, ist es nicht trotzdem möglich, dass ihm irgendjemand bei den Taten geholfen hat?
So her question is, she understood everything you said. Her response in the question is that you believe, or could it not be possible that anybody helped him to do these acts, and it was not just him by himself? If there's a possibility that this could have happened, is that maybe a thought process or a perception?
Well, listen,
Yeah, it's a question that she has. So.
Yes, if we're talking hypothetically, I'm not going to say it's impossible that anybody else could have had anything to do with this, but I think logically, I don't see why he would need any help to do what he did to who he did it to. And just to make my point, if we just assume that he had help and he was not the only one who participated in taking the lives of two women, if he had help, you're going to support him. I don't see why that matters. If he had anything to do, if he played any part in facilitating the murders of two women, who cares? If there's other people involved, like them to be charged. But what you're implying and what you're asking indicates that he still had a part to play in the murders of two women, and so he should be held responsible.
Yeah,
and I don't. How can you say he's innocent if you're saying, well, do you think he's the only one? It doesn't matter if he's the only one. He is one of the ones.
He's the one that took the fall. Question. Let's say it that way. That was also perception or possibility. I'm very objective. I'm not here or there. So what I'm just saying for a conversation part, when I say in this country, I live in the United States, so are you, I know. Having said that, I don't live here since yesterday, so I'm living here for a long time. So I'm a little familiar. I'm in a different state, but how things sometimes happen or not happen, or who knows. The question is simply raised. What you also have to understand, please, is the information or the press that's communicated from the US in other countries, or the information of news in detail, will not be related extremely correctly or authentically into a different place, for example. That's number one. Number two, I believe also that if you look at something, sometimes you see people taking a fall. I don't say he did or not, but I'm saying to be open to it, that it's a possibility that somebody set him up and that he got involved. Nobody says he's not guilty in any way, shape, or form of anything or something. What the question is that the whole thing, how it happened, this whole situation that it's so public. I'm sure you are familiar with other people that have done horrible things in this world, in this country, that are having the same penalty, where you do hear nothing, right? Isn't that interesting? And there's no bam, bam, bam. This case, for whatever reason, flew off the handle in how it's publicized, and everything is presented in so many different directions, and there's so many people involved. And I'm wondering if I'm a victim of a case, for example, or a situation, just as a question, if I'm a victim of something, why I would make a statement, I would live this horror again to make this statement, but I would get out of the light. Does that make sense to you? That would be my...
It does, but none of that applies to Wade Wilson. Did you not hear public on YouTube. This has been seen by hundreds of thousands of people. Do you know that he told detectives exactly where one of the victims' bodies were?
Yeah.
In exchange for a large fry from McDonald's?
And a burger, yeah.
And a burger. And do you know that? How would he know that?
Yeah. Well, I can't answer
why would he do that?
Like I said, I say it to you again. I have seen a couple things or other situations, different states, different people, just different situations where you might be surprised what we perceive or what is reality in this world or what happened really.
I don't think I don't think I'd be surprised. I've done 10 years in prison.
Okay. No, I'm just saying.
I've lived with these people. I know, I've seen everything and everybody from all walks of life. I don't think I'd be very surprised. I'm quite familiar with how people act and what they do and what they'll do in times of desperation. I'm quite familiar with how much people will give up in exchange for a burger when they are hungry.
Yeah.
I don't. I don't see how you can say, listen, my whole thing is if you want to support Wade Wilson, admit that you know he did what he did and that you don't care and that you think he's hot and that you have some type of kinky fetish towards him. I would respect that more than you getting on here and justifying your obsession with him by trying to excuse and take responsibility and guilt off of him being responsible for the murders of 2 women.
I think I need to clarify something for this live chat as I'm here, the translator, so to speak. This chat is 100% not a fan club of Wade Wilson in any way, shape, or form, as you just mentioned a couple items. That's not it. This live or this chat in a different country is interested in the truth to really find out what really happened. They're raising
we know
some
what
questions.
he told us what really happened.
Yeah, but I'm
why
saying,
is no one else speaking up? Does no one? There are 6 other people in it. Why is no one saying anything? Does anybody got anything to say about anything I've said?
Ladies,
and you are the translator. You're not relaying any of my points to these people who apparently don't speak English.
Can I do that for a second?
You're debating me, but you're not relaying anything I say to these people who don't understand apparently. So what's going on? But you're saying that you're not pro-Wade.
Can you give me a second to translate to the ladies? Please allow me.
I would love that. Absolutely,
Okay,
I would love that.
Okay, give me a second. Pachenka, everybody there?
Ja.
Yes.
Okay, so sein Punkt ist ganz normal, dass er sagt, die 2 Damen, die Mila und Kirsten und der Vater haben in der Form, den hat er in einem Telefonat und das andere Telefonat in dem Video zugegeben, auch über der Geschichte mit dem YouTube-Video, wo er dann sein Geständnis abgelegt hat für einen Burger und Fries als Beispiel. Ja. Das habt ihr gesehen an YouTube, dass er in der Form das Geständnis abgelegen hat und denen genau gesagt hat, wo die Dame zu finden ist. Und er ist der Meinung, dass egal wie auch immer da man schaut, dass er dadurch guilty, also schuldig ist. Und auf der anderen Seite hat er auch noch gesagt, das ist also, dass ihr ein Fanclub seid, dass ihr so in den fasziniert seid oder er hat mehr Respekt für euch, wenn ihr sagen würdet, ihr findet ihn ganz toll oder er ist ein super Typ oder heiß oder wie auch immer, dass sie dementsprechend deswegen denkt, er ist unschuldig. Was ich ihm gesagt habe, habt ihr, glaube ich, verstanden, dass ich nicht denke, dass er unschuldig ist, sondern man darüber sich unterhalten kann, dass in diesem Land, da er 10 Jahre im Gefängnis war, wie er sagt, er hier selber war im Gefängnis 10 Jahre und hat gesagt, er hat alles schon gesehen oder gehört, dass Leute ihr Leben weggeben für was zum Essen, weil sie Hunger haben, als Beispiel, oder ein Geständnis ablegen. Aber er trotzdem der Meinung ist, dass er schuldig ist, weil er seinem Vater das gesagt hat, der hat der Mila das erzählt und der Kirsten erzählt. Und er hatte mehr Respekt vor euch in der Form, wenn ihr zugeben würdet, dass ihr denkt, dass ihr so fasziniert von ihm seid, dass ihr auch diese Mädchen sind, die da anrufen würden und so weiter und so fort.
Aber
So.
ich sage doch
Can
nicht, dass
ma'am, CC Design, can I add one more thing, please?
Absolutely.
With all due respect, can
Yes.
you ask them why am I the only one who will activate my camera? I'm willing to put my face and my voice at her. Is anyone willing to show their face? What? If you truly believe in this, can you show your face?
Okay, 1 second, please. Let me translate that, please. So, fragt.
Ja, das mache ich auf jeden Fall nicht. Ich habe das verstanden, ich mache das nicht.
Okay, sagte nur, erst einmal hat gefragt, warum alle Menschen, die an dem Chat sind, er zeigt sein Gesicht und dahinter stehen oder vielleicht nicht glauben, dass er schuldig ist, die Gesicht zeigen würden. Ich kann sagen, ich habe keine 1000 Follower, also ich kann das eh nicht. Wer auch immer das machen kann, weiß ich nicht. Aber ich übersetze das einfach mal zu ihm zurück. Jamsu Pablo, for myself, I don't have 1000 followers, so that's the truth. Number one, you can check that if you like. Other people don't have that either. And they're not hiding behind their screen. That's what they just told me.
So you can only show your face if you have 1,000 followers?
Yes, I'm just telling you that's the truth. I mean, you can check my profile. I'm not posting.
No, I checked yours, and I understand you don't have 1,000.
I'm very honest, so I don't say.
Yes,
ich
ma'am.
habe ja ein Foto
Okay.
drin. I have a picture.
Okay, but I'm about to check everybody else real quick.
Pachinka said she had a picture of herself in there, so I don't know.
The host, Wade Wilson, has 2,000. He can do it. This other guy, what's his name? Let's see. 68. Okay. Let's see. Okay. All right. What about the host? They can. Oh, Metatron 200. You can show your face. You got over 1,000. You know, we got 2 people in here who can show their face. But it's all right. You don't have to. It's fine. You know, I'm not here to, you know, if you don't want to show your face, you know what? Honestly, I understand. I understand why you wouldn't want to. But, ma'am, CC Design, with all due respect, you know, I respect you and I appreciate you translating. What did they have to say about everything I said?
Oh, yeah, I didn't get to that point yet where I translate the other stuff. 1 second, please.
Okay.
Pachinka?
Ja.
Ja, so fragt jetzt, was eure oder deine Response ist oder deine Antwort ist zu dem, was ich gerade übersetzt habe, bevor ich gefragt habe nach den Fotos oder Bildern.
Meine Antwort ist, ich halte ihn nicht für unschuldig. Ich sage ja nur, dass ich denke, dass er das nicht alleine gemacht hat, dass also noch jemand damit bei war.
Okay. So, jumps to Pablo, I'm back. So, Pachinka says, sorry, I speak German. Her simple point was that she has never said, and she doesn't think that he's not totally guilty, but she believes, and that's her opinion, that he didn't do all of that by himself, that other people were involved in this crime. And he's the only one that got charged, but at this moment, but she doesn't believe that he did all of that by himself. That's just her opinion. So that's just, you know,
Right. And that's fine. Let's, so I don't agree with that, but just for the sake of the conversation, let's assume that she's correct, right? If that is the case, whether there's other people involved or not, let's hope they get charged.
Yeah.
But as for him, she still believes he's involved. Why are you on here on a live that is supporting Wade Wilson and advocating for the freedom of Wade Wilson? If you still, even if there's 2, 3, 4, 5 other people involved, he had something to do with killing 2 innocent women. Ma'am, you're a woman. She's a woman.
Yeah.
Some of these people are women. He would do the same to you. He would have something to do with you dying. Why are you standing up and defending this man when you believe he had something, whether it was 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 15 other people involved, he contributed in some way in your mind to multiple women dying who did nothing to him. Why? That's all I want to know.
Yeah. Like I said,
Can you ask her that?
Yeah, I'm gonna do that right now.
Okay.
So, seine Frage ist jetzt, als Frauen oder Frau in diesem Live, dass alle Frauen in diesem Live immer noch ihn unterstützen, in der Form denken, dass er nicht schuldig ist und damit involviert ist, 2 Frauen aus dem Leben genommen zu haben, weil als Frau er denkt, Wade Wilson würde das auch an anderen Frauen antun oder uns als Frauen antun. Warum es vertreten wird in diesem Live, dass er in der Form nicht als alleine gemacht hat, aber trotzdem involviert ist in der ganzen Geschichte und dass das hier positiv unterstützt wird. Das ist eine Frage an euch.
Also meine Antwort dazu ist, ich unterstütze das ja nicht positiv. Wir reden nur über Fakten. Also das, wo ich mich beteilige, ist, dass wir über Fakten reden, die halt wirklich so zum Beispiel in den Dokumentationen vom Gericht und so, halt, dass wir da einfach drüber sprechen. Also das ist meins. So, das ist das, was ich, ne?
Ja.
Bei dem, da müssen die anderen was zu sagen, ihre Meinung.
Ja, Sarah? Hallo? Sarah noch da?
Oh,
Ja,
jetzt-
wir sind noch da. Aber ich sag da, also ich bin Supporter und das bleibt doch so. Ich bin pro Wade und ja, mehr werde ich dazu nicht sagen, weil ich habe ihm vorhin alles geantwortet, was er mich gefragt hat. Und ja, mehr sage ich dazu jetzt auch nicht.
Ich denke mal, da ist ein Missverständnis hier von das, was verstanden worden ist. Und ich glaube, ich würde das mal ansprechen, weil ich bin der Meinung, es würde falsch verstanden in der Form, dass er denkt, dass ihr das vollkommen unterstützt, weil er der Meinung ist, dass er schuldig ist als Beispiel. Versteht ihr, was ich meine, wo der Disconnect ist als Beispiel?
Ja.
So, ich glaube, das ist das, wo der Haken irgendwo hängt hier. Okay, Jumpsuit Pablo, I would like to come back to you. So,
Yes,
so Pachenka and the ladies that just answered back in German, so wanted to make clear, and I think I just realized where the disconnect is here in this chat or this live that maybe was never put in the forefront in the beginning, I understand or believe so, is this live chat is really trying to report on the facts with the court documents and what has been discovered, more like as a live discussion about the case itself objectively. That's a key word. And not about the point of is the person that did this or not. They just believe that there's something that didn't happen that way and they're just looking for the truth, if that makes sense. You can understand it on that level. They're not a fan club. They're not one of these crazy ladies that will call or do all this other nonsense. That's not what they do at all. They're not even interested in that nonsense. The point is they're looking and discussing this in Germany, as in Germany, the information will be reported or are reported very, very differently than the United States. For us, it's very different here. I understand both worlds, that they only get pieces, but for them, it's interesting to have a discussion and follow all the different developments in that case. That's what they're discussing, and it's more like objectively. These people are not fanatics of him. I just want to make that clear. They're not. Right. Germans are very conservative, and they're more culturally restricted. These are not Americans. Americans are different. You understand what I'm saying?
Can I say something about that?
Absolutely.
You say these are not fanatics, but I'm looking at the host, and his name is Wade Wilson, and his picture is a picture of Wade Wilson. I'm looking at the next person. His name is Freedom for Wilson, too, and his picture is Wade Wilson.
Yeah, I can't contest this. I don't know that.
Well, if you can't contest that, then you can't express to me that this is a non-biased discussion.
I can only say I'm speaking for myself right now, and I'm speaking about what Pachenka said and the other lady said.
I understand that. I understand.
I don't know how many people are now. They're not looking on the screen. I'm sorry. I'm
Right.
just trying to translate and do the best I can.
Well, and to be clear, I'm not coming at you. I know you're the translator, but I'm trying to show you why I don't buy what they're telling you to tell me. Because look at the first two people up here. Wade Wilson and Freedom for Wade Wilson.
Yeah, I mean,
but they're up here.
Yeah.
But they're telling you to tell me that they're not here for that.
Yeah,
They're not fanatics.
On the other hand, it's also like, for example,
these people have based their whole usernames and profile pictures around Wade Wilson.
yeah, but that you have to understand from a marketing point too. I mean, if you want to present a situation that you would like to talk about and get some awareness? That's called marketing in the United States.
Oh no, ma'am. I have 1.3 million collective followers. I know exactly. I know it. I'm very familiar with social media marketing. I know.
Yeah,
You don't have to. You don't have to do. You don't have to do that. You
No,
don't have
I'm
to do
not.
that.
No, I'm trying to, if I may finish my sentence kindly, please.
Okay.
The point is, in Germany, it's very different. I'm trying to make a connection bridge here from Europe, from Germany to America. It's very, very different. It's two different worlds. Extreme opposite. Meaning, in Germany, nobody knows anything. German people don't even know, half of them don't even know who Wade Wilson is, number one. Number two, it's a German chat. So that means like I would have a chat in Japan, and in Japan, nobody knows who maybe Valentina is. So Valentina has a live chat. Why would people go to Valentina? People don't go to Valentina unless you maybe puts a name in there and advertises the chat as something so they understand, oh wow, they're talking about this. And then they get into the chat and get a visit.
I understand. I understand.
That's what the host is doing, what I understand. That her name is not that certainly, but she's representing it in Germany, while all the girls that are in here and ladies usually are all German. I'm not joking.
No, I don't think you're joking. I think what is a joke, and this is not meant to be disrespectful to you. I'm trying to tell you, you don't got to tell me because I live this 24/7.
Yeah.
This is my career. This is my life. This is my lifestyle. I already know. You don't got to do that. You don't got to be Wade Wilson. You don't got to be Freedom for Wade Wilson too. You don't got to do that.
No.
And if you want to add, because for instance, my username is not Wade Wilson is guilty.
I get it.
Okay. My username is Jumpsuit Pablo. And I can get on here and I command more viewers than everyone here combined. And I can still speak about how I know for a fact Wade Wilson is guilty.
Yeah.
So I don't need to hear that. You don't got to tell me that. I already know what's going on. I am confronting and I'm here. There are 5 people. If we exclude you, there are 6 people who I assume believe Wade Wilson or claim to believe. To be honest, I don't think anybody in this live genuinely, at the bottom of their heart, I don't think they believe Wade Wilson is innocent. But
May I ask a question? May I ask
Go
a
ahead.
question? I would
Go ahead.
like to raise a question, just as a thought. I'm gonna say it in German so the ladies understand what I'm saying, and then I say it to you in English if that's okay. Ladies, könnt ihr mich hören? So,
Ja.
ich mache jetzt mal einen Punkt und ich möchte, dass ihr euch mal ein bisschen engaged mit mir, bitte. So, das heißt, ich werde den Punkt jetzt einfach mal aufbringen. Dass es sehr seltsam ist als Faktum, dass das Haus von seinen Eltern abgebrannt ist, richtig?
Ja.
Und daraufhin hat er dann gesagt, er wird die Wahrheit sagen. Könnt ihr euch daran erinnern?
Ja.
So, das fällt mir gerade ein. So, ich will das mal den Punkt machen, weil er meint, er ist der Meinung, dass der Host, Sarah, bist du da?
Ja.
Okay. Weil du den Namen Wade Wilson hast, warum so? Ich habe ihm ganz einfach erklärt, dass in Deutschland, erstmal hast du einen Chat in Deutschland, das heißt, in Deutschland weiß kein Mensch, wer der Mann ist. So, das heißt Marketing. Du musst das dementsprechend richtig hinlegen, damit die Leute wissen, worüber du sprichst. Als Beispiel. Er hat mir erklärt, dass es sein Lebensunterhalt ist. Er macht das mit allen 3 Millionen Leuten, die ihm folgen oder weiß der Geier. So, und deswegen brauche ich ihn nicht zu erklären. Ich sage, der Punkt ist ganz einfach der. Wir haben 2 verschiedene kulturelle Welten. Ja.
Can I ask you to add, can you add one thing for me, please?
Yes, absolutely.
Can you please ask the host to allow my friend who is a major big-time YouTuber, his name is Duty Ron, he's requesting to join here. He's very respectful. If you can ask the host to allow him to join.
Sarah, der ist ein großer YouTuber, der möchte gerne auf den Chat raufkommen. Er hat ganz höflich gefragt, er ist ein sehr zivilisierter Mensch, ob du ihn bitte einladen würdest und rauflässt. Sarah?
Okay.
Ist das
Aber
der
das ist alles
ehemalige
zivilisiert
Polizist?
hinzugeben.
Jumpsuit Pablo, she said absolutely. I don't know, what was his name or who is he?
His name is Duty Ron, D-U-T-Y-R-O-N, Duty Ron.
Claudia? Claudia?
Yes?
Ist das
Hello?
der ehemalige
Thank you.
Polizist?
I don't know. Is he the...
That's him. You got him. Thank you.
Okay.
You got him.
Okay. So, ich wollte jetzt noch mal eben kurz sagen, dass ich den Punkt jetzt mal anschneiden möchte, weil das ein Punkt ist, der ja nicht in das Puzzle reinpasst. Darüber haben wir ja diskutiert, wenn ihr da mir recht gibt. Gebt. Nein, ich sag mal geben. Ich hab das Schmerz. Hallo, Leute, seid ihr da? Sarah? Wir sind da, wir sind alle da. Ja, so alle müssen sich mal ein bisschen engagieren, weil ich bin am Übersetzen, um ihm zu sagen, damit alle auch respektiert, richtig behandelt werden in der Form, respektiert werden, besser gesagt. So jumps to Pablo, just to explain, I just explained it in German. Now I would like to bring the question back. So this is a discussion, like I said, I just want to repeat that. The ladies are interested in the case itself. For example, there's a question that I would like to raise. So for example, if you remember, I don't know when, where, I'm just sporadically checking on it, that the house from his, I believe, adoptive parents burned down. Believe me, right? Do you know that story?
Yes, I do.
Okay, so what I heard, the question is that it's very interesting that the house of their parents all of a sudden burned down. And right after that happened, that's when Wade Wilson changed his story and said he's going to tell the truth and he's going to bring evidence. That's how this discussion started, just to explain that to you. Okay?
Well, that's not entirely accurate because he had already confessed to 3 different people before the house burned down. And then, like you're saying, the house burned down and then he wanted to confess to detectives. He had already confessed in graphic and unsympathetic detail to 3 different people as soon as he had got locked up before any house burned down as to what he did. But Duty Ron is a former NYPD detective with the NYPD police force, and I'd like to know what he thinks about that or what he has to say about that. Go ahead, Duty.
Okay, hello.
Hi, nice to meet you guys. So a couple of things. I came in kind of late to this thing, so I don't know how this all started and what the conversation is, but I get the gist of the conversation. But what I can add to this is, as Jumpsuit Pablo said, is I'm a retired New York City police detective. So it's the largest municipal police department in the United States. So when it comes down to justice here in America, now you guys are from Germany, and we get that. But this case is not a case that happened in Germany. This is a case that happened here in the United States. Under the United States, the law states that you are to be judged by a jury of your peers. Those are people who know nothing about the case, who are summoned to come to court, hear all of the evidence that is presented by the state. That's the state of Florida. They present the evidence to a jury of Wade Wilson's peers. They presented the evidence, and the evidence was overwhelming. It was so overwhelming that Wade Wilson's defense attorney said that we have no defense to this. The cell phones that he had in his possession tracked his movements. It's called geofencing. Geofencing showed that Wade Wilson was in each location where the murders happened. The evidence, which is DNA, that's from our cellular, from our bodies, his DNA is on the victims. No other person's DNA is on the victims. This is stuff that you didn't hear about in court because it didn't have to be presented. It was presented to his defense because you see here in America, you have to give all discovery. The discovery means all of the evidence has to be given to the defense. Wade Wilson's attorneys got all of the discovery before this trial started, and they looked at it and had time to look it over, and they said, oh, we have no defense to this. Our client, Wade Wilson, confessed to numerous people who are civilians, his biological father, his girlfriend Mila, detectives on numerous occasions. That, putting that aside, all of the evidence, that cellular evidence, that is a timestamp. He had Christine Melton's phone in his possession at her home where he murdered her, and then he left with that phone to all these different locations, calling his girlfriend, when he murdered the second victim, Diane Ruiz, Christine Melton's phone is on his body. And those movements are all shown in the geofencing warrant. So for anybody here, and I'm not trying to disparage anybody, but for anybody here to even think, I don't care where you live in this world, for you to hear that and to know that, that's the truth, that's the facts. For you to hear that and say, well, there has to be somebody else, or he's not guilty of it, or any kind of variation. He is found guilty by a jury of his peers. That's the laws of our land, United States Constitution. That's what you're afforded. That's what he got. He got a fair and impartial jury. He got a trial that was done professionally, and there was nothing fugazi about it. And fugazi means funny or tricks or anything like that. He was given good representation, and he was found guilty. He was sentenced to death, and that's what happens here. We're not in Germany. We're not in anywhere else. This is the United States of America, and that's how it happens. If you can't swallow that pill or accept it, that's on you. And I'm not disparaging or putting anybody down here, but those are the facts, and there is nothing to debate. There is nothing that needs to be said after this, because he has his appeal process, which is another right under the laws and constitutions of the United States. He's going to get those appeal processes, and that's why it's going to take 20 years for them to put him down. And when he gets put down, all of his appeal processes will be exhausted, and he'll have all of the laws and all of the justice system that he's afforded, and all of his appeal process, they'll be exhausted. And then when that happens, that'll be it. Case over.
Stop please a moment. Claudia,
Yes.
kannst du einmal sagen, dass sich kürzer fassen soll, dass wir immer Übersetzungspausen machen können?
Yeah.
All of a
Okay.
sudden they understand English.
Sorry. Thank you very much for your commentary there. Steffi, the moderator is asking if you give some sentences or some explanations, if you can take a break so I can translate it to them and we can go back and forward like tic-tac-toe and play tennis, if that's okay with you. And not in, like I said. So I understand exactly what you're saying. I live in the United States. I'm from Germany, but I lived here for 25 years, so I'm very familiar with the laws of the land. I live here. I'm also a U.S. citizen, FYI to you. So I understand all of that stuff you said. I'm more of an assistance tool here to explain the laws into my country, my original country, in those worlds, if that makes sense. I'm more like a between here, the bridge, to bring clarification and also to translate certain things. Why these are two very, very different worlds. Just for a side note. I'm going to translate this to the ladies, if I may, for a second. Okay, Leute. So, hat jetzt einfach in der Form ganz genau erklärt, ist also ein Ex-Polizist in New York City. Und hat eben ganz kurz erklärt, wollte erklären, dass in Amerika gewisse Gesetze existieren, die in der Form einen gewissen Aussatz haben, in der Form, dass alle Beweise, so wie er das weiß, die DNA-Proben, DNA-Proben, Blutvergleich, dass sein Telefon gemappt worden ist an dem Tag, wo das passiert ist und dass sein Telefon, sein Handy, genau da war, wo das dann auch alles passiert ist in der Form. Dass also, wie gesagt, alles genauso geometrisch ausgelegt wurde als Beweismaterial. Und er hat gesagt, dass seine Anwälte keine Möglichkeiten hatten, irgendwas zu verteidigen, weil alles war so vorgelegt, einklart, sagen wir richtig, dass da in der Form keine Lücke war, um zu beweisen, dass seine Unschuld vorliegt. Und er sagte nur, er wollte erklären, dass, wie gesagt, die Gesetze hier anders sind und dass gewisse Sachen vorgelegt werden bei Gericht. Das ist Standard für diese Strafe, die einfach nicht nur dahingegeben werden, sondern dass alle Institutionen sehr intensiv das ausarbeiten und alles kontrollieren in der Form, bevor sie diese Strafe eben anlegen, als Beispiel. Und dass sein Anwalt keine Möglichkeit hatte, in der momentan einen Einspruch einzulegen, weil alles dementsprechend konfirmiert wurde von den Frauen, von der Mila, von der anderen, I don't know, wie viele Leute da waren, haben alles vorgelegt. Das heißt, alles passte genau zusammen, um für den Richter diese Entscheidung zu fällen. Und das wollte ich einfach mal erklären, weil in Deutschland das anders ist als in Amerika. Und er wollte einfach nur mal als offizieller Polizist erklären, wie die Gesetze hier gehen, dass es ganz anders ist als wie in Deutschland. So, das wollte ich mal kurz sagen.
Claudia, guckst du dir gerade das Video an von Pablo? Hast du was gesehen?
Yes, ma'am. Can I?
Ich spreche
What's
mein
going on
Telefon.
here?
Ich schaue nicht so
What
mal.
happened? Yes, I'm here.
Okay, sorry. I don't know. So I just translated what your friend. Sorry, I don't look on the screen while I'm talking. I'm talking into my microphone. Sorry.
Yeah, I don't know what they're talking about. They're weird. Go ahead.
No, they just said your video or some camera happened. I said I didn't see anything.
I don't know.
I don't know.
No, I don't know what
They-
they're talking about. It's been on me the whole time.
They're
No, that
paying
was-
attention to the wrong details, Jumpsuit.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I don't know.
I-
It's been on me the whole time.
I don't know what happened. Like I said, I didn't see it, so I just looked at my phone just a second ago. So I just translated your statement to the ladies in the chat of what you said about the loss, etc., and your position to the case. So what I explained before.
It's
you
not my
came-
position. It's not my position. It's the facts of the case.
Okay, yeah. Well, what
This has
I'm
got
saying
nothing to do
is-
with position. Let me just be clear.
Be
Let me just be
kind,
clear.
be
I'm not
kind,
trying to
be
be
kind.
hostile. It's got nothing to do with my position. Those are the facts.
I understand, but I can understand and respect your facts. What I would like to do is, can we have it kindness?
It's not a
kindness?
position. It's not a position. It's the facts.
Okay, it's the facts.
What did they-
I understand
what did they-
what
what
I'm
did they
saying.
say?
is-
Just the facts, ma'am. Just the facts, ma'am.
If I may finish my sentence respectfully.
What'd they say?
What I'm saying is I respect your opinion, your statement as facts.
It's not an opinion. It's
Ich habe
fact.
eine Frage.
What I'm saying is they have questions.
They
so-
understand English. They understand us.
yeah, not all of them. And do me a favor, if you kindly could be kind. You have a very forceful approach to that. Let's be open and nice and kind about it. Kindness is really nice in this world, really much needed right now. To be just nice and have a nice conversation. I'm trying to do my best here to communicate between two worlds.
What did they say to all that?
Okay, that's what I'm trying to get to you. 1 second, please.
Okay.
Kann ich eine Response kriegen von euch bitte? Weil ich bin nur am...
Jawohl. Wir sind da.
Bitte was?
Ja, übersetzt mal kurz. Was wollt ihr jetzt wissen?
Er wollte wissen, was eure Reaktion dazu ist, was ich gerade übersetzt habe. Wie er sagte, das sind die Fakten, die vorgelegt worden sind. Und es ist keine Meinung, es ist ein Faktum. Ich habe ihn gerade richtig gestellt in der Form, was ich gesagt habe, ist, ich erwarte Freundlichkeit in diesem Chat. Ich bin dazu da, um zu helfen, was zu erklären, 2 Sprachen. Und ich möchte, dass er sich freundlich verhält und nicht in der Form so aggressiv da reinkommt. Ich möchte, dass er sich anständig und freundlich verhält. Die ganze Welt braucht ein bisschen Freundlichkeit im Moment und nicht nur Aggression. Das habe ich mir gerade gesagt.
Ja, damit hast du ja recht.
Ja,
Das war
also
meine Meinung, weil ich versuche hier was zu übersetzen und wenn jemand eine Meinung hat, das ist ein Punkt, aber man muss auch andere Meinungen akzeptieren. Ich bin ja sehr objektiv an solchen Sachen. Das macht
Ich habe noch eine
nichts.
Frage an.
Deswegen, er fragte, was eure Meinung dazu ist, für das, was ich gerade gesagt habe. Er hat gesagt, die Fakten wurden vorgelegt im Kurzformat. Diese Fakten wurden akzeptiert bei den Gesetzen dieses Landes. Er regelt auch anders, weil er ein Polizist ist, eine ganz andere Position in diesem Land, um das zu erklären. Das heißt, er vertritt einen Gesetzsstandpunkt, auch wenn wir damit nicht der Meinung sind. Aber das ist ein Standpunkt als Beispiel. Okay? Er würde gerne wissen, was ihr darüber denkt.
Die Fakten sind ja alle schön und gut, nur was ich mich frage ist, da wurde doch trotzdem noch eine weitere DNA gefunden. Das ist das. Also ich
Okay,
bin daher, dass
danke.
er das nicht alleine war.
Danke, dass ich das mal eben kurz übersetzen darf. Okay, here's a response from the ladies.
Okay.
So here, the chat, I'm just speaking for everybody, it's easier that way. The chat heard your facts and the question they have in response is, there was supposedly another point of DNA has been found and that has not been investigated. There was another DNA found. So that's the question they're raising, like, why is there another DNA that was not investigated? How can that happen if everything was kind of factual and that is the end of this composition, kind of, sort of, in the fact of the case? Why is that there? That's the question.
I can answer that unless you want to answer it, Jumpsuit.
Go ahead.
Okay. So if there was in fact any other DNA that was found, his defense would have argued it. That was not argued. I believe that the DNA that you're referring to is something that you guys are all thinking it exists. If it existed and it was part of something that could be brought up in the court of law while the trial was going on, his defense would have brought that up. But because they didn't bring that up, it doesn't exist. Because the trial is over. The trial is over.
Calling me. Let me please translate to the ladies and ask where this came from. So maybe that would bring some clarification. Leute, ich habe die Frage gestellt. Die Frage ist jetzt, könnt ihr euch daran erinnern oder weiß es vielleicht von euch jemand, wo dementsprechend diese Information herkam, wo diese dritte DNA gefunden worden ist oder wie auch immer? Wo war das? Wisst ihr das?
Bei dem ersten Opfer.
Okay, so translate back to you, gentlemen. So the response was that at the first victim, victim A had additional DNA that was not investigated. That's what they brought up. That's a fact. And nobody pointed it out. So I don't know. That's the question that they have.
Well, I think Christine Melton, I would never refer to her as victim A. That's severely disrespectful.
I'm sorry, that was not meant that way. That's your perception.
I don't know where that comes from, but Christine Melton, if there was any other DNA, she had a home where probably other people were welcome, where people weren't there to rape and assault her or have their way with her and then assault her and kill her. So if there was other DNA, there's 5 sets of DNA in my home here from my family. You rule out who is not a suspect, and you take the DNA that's there, that is not only there and on that scene, at that murder scene number 1, victim number 1, who is Christine Melton, and then you take that same DNA and find it on a second victim, who is Diane Ruiz, not victim B, it's Diane Ruiz, and you say, what a reasonable person would say is that Wade Wilson's DNA is on both of these murder scenes, not the other DNA that was at someone's house from people that come to visit.
And here's
anybody that's there.
Here's my thing. Here's what I don't understand. Everyone besides me and Duty Ron and you, ma'am, who's translating, everyone who is opposing us in this discussion, it seems to be the collective idea that they don't think Wade Wilson is totally innocent. They just think there are other people involved and that he only had something to do with it as a part of multiple people having something to do with it, which I don't believe. But here's my question. I don't understand if Wade Wilson had a part in the murders of 2 women. Why are you on here making your usernames and TikTok accounts? Please stop turning my microphone off while I'm talking. Moderator, thank you. Why are you on here making your usernames, profile pictures, and your entire TikTok accounts in support of Wade Wilson? If he had only if 3 people had something to do with the murder of 2 women, why are you supporting either one of them?
Amen.
Okay, let me translate that, please.
Okay.
An den Chat, seine Frage ist...
I gotta go, guys. I'm getting out of here.
See you.
Okay, thank you, good night. Der Polizist hat geäußert, dass in der Christine Ruiz Wohnung, glaube ich, als Beispiel, wo ihr gemeint habt, da war ein anderes DNA, correct? War das richtig?
Ja.
Dass er sagte, dass das mag ja so sein, weil mehrere Menschen in ihrer Wohnung ihn besucht haben oder sie besucht haben, besser gesagt. Aber der ausschlaggebende Punkt war im Gericht, dass Wade